we were talking about diversity. There's one thing I noticed in my homeboy Abbenante, Al B, you're the best. He sent me this article, and it was basically showing how people of color, we don't complain about white movies or white shows not having diversity unless it sucks. And I was like, I thought about it, and I was like, we really don't. So I was watching Stranger Things. I was like, there's more white people in this thing than a Whole Foods parking lot. Like, there ain't nobody in there that ain't black besides what's his name, Lucas.
Yeah.
And so I was like, but yeah, and his family. But it's just like that show was really, really white, and it's in Hawkins, Indiana, so of course. But it's like most shows and movies that are very white, we don't think about it. Like think about. Well, yeah, and I started thinking, I was like, wow, I never complain about diversity in the Jason Bourne movies, because I think those are dope. I never complain about diversity on Friday Night Lights, my TV show. That was mostly white.
True.
But it's just like, but these trash movies, that I'm not going to name any because that's not cool, but these like, trash movies or TV shows that aren't that good or really corny that might just be all white, you're just kind of like, hey, why can't y'all throw a black person in there or something like that? Because I think it just comes from that, like, I'm entertained, so I'm not even thinking about this right now. You know?
Well, I think a big part of it goes to that other study you posted that they found that like less than 5% of the TV writers are black.
Right.
And so it's like if all the shows were like amazing, you wouldn't care as much about diversity. At least like they're putting up amazing work.
There's a lot of bad stuff.
But there's a lot of bad stuff. If there's gonna be a lot of bad stuff on television, it's like at the very least you should have the diversity part, right? But more importantly, there would be less bad stuff on television if you had diverse people in the writer's room, in the producer's room, creating the show. But they don't.
Right.
So it's one of those things like you can't complain about diversity with a good TV show because it also the argument really doesn't have a lot of bite to it. Mm-hmm. But when you do it to a terrible show, it really has a lot of bite to it. It's like, well, yeah, it's like. And of course they could have done better.
Because it's crazy when you think about it. The majority of things on TV aren't that good. And the majority of movies that come out in the box office don't make a profit. I didn't even know that. So it's just like the things that do rise to the top are actually really good. Because a lot of movies don't make money. That's crazy to me. And I think if diversity was pushed more, I think we wouldn't have those problems. Like, look at the anticipation for Black Panther. It's crazy. Like, niggas is throwing on dashikis just waiting for this movie to come out. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's because we've never had a movie to this scale that's like fantasy and sci-fi, whereas white people get a movie like that every year. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's interesting.
Well, we looked at the timeline of it, like in the 70s and the 80s and even a little bit in the 90s, there was an uptick of like black TV shows, black writers.
Yeah.
And now, the past 20 years, there's been a historic low. Yeah. In minorities participating and being allowed to participate in creating and writing TV shows. Right. And then coincidentally, the past 20 years, especially the last 10 years, has been kind of a dark ages of entertainment. Yeah. Especially in terms of like TV comedies and just comedy in general. Like we haven't had as much because TV, you're not allowing people to be diverse. Comedy, the world isn't allowed to be as diverse as it used to be. Yeah. And so all these areas suffer when you aren't accessing the full talent pool. And it's not a true meritocracy because that means you're not picking based on skill level, you're picking based off other stuff. And then that's when the art form really starts to suffer.
Okay. That's dope. Any last words?
No, it's pretty much on the
hire black people.
Yeah.
If we have learned nothing, that would be my 3 words.
Well, just hire them when they're the best for the job, and guess what? Usually they are a lot more than you think they are. Man. So let them in the interview room, and they'll probably surprise you and outdo the person that you're interviewing beforehand.
That's oftentimes the problem we don't even get in these rooms. It's so hard to just do that in general. That's why I love the people like Ava DuVernay and Issa Rae and just and a lot of others, Will Packer, that are opening up like opportunities for so many people that are on the lower tiers to come up and be able to do their projects. Kevin Hart's doing the same thing, so it's really cool to see that once one black person gets their opportunity, they try to find a way to build a bridge for the rest, so that way it's a lot easier. Because when a black, like Oprah's network, when a black woman is running a network, it's a lot easier to get in those rooms if you are a black artist, whereas an NBC or a Fox or a CBS, you have to go through a lot of red tape. And because like I talked to one black writer of a TV show, and he was telling me how like when you're a person of color pitching to basically mostly all older white men who have the money that are going to put the money behind this, you basically have to pitch to them. First you have to make them understand it and make them realize what would be the point, who would actually watch it, why it's important, and you know how is this all going to work. You have to make them understand that, and then you have to pitch the concept of the show. Whereas he said a white counterpart can pitch a show and they're just like, oh, okay, cool, because they see themselves in it. And so the more people we have in these positions of power, then we can do these pitches and things. Like I feel like there's some things I know I couldn't pitch to a white person that if I said 3 words to Oprah, she'd just get it, you know. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, how many Oprahs do we have running networks? 1. So that's the part of the problem.
You need to change the power dynamic.
Yeah, change the power dynamic. But yeah, it's been a great episode. Talking about being white famous. I would love to be white famous one day because that means lots of coins. So that'd be dope. This is I've been Niles Abston, Chaz Carter, Eric Abbenante. You guys got any shows coming up that the people can support?
Crack them up.
Oh yeah, we're gonna crack them up.
Yeah.
I got nothing. Check out everything on Channel 310, The Podium, Blunts and Brunch, and this show, Secret Black People Meeting. Check it out.
Yeah, go watch all the past episodes. This is episode 8, so we got like almost 8 hours of bingeable material just off this one show. So go back and check it out. See you guys next week.
Right now, Niles Abston! Get your black ass up there! Channel 310. Nigga always dancing. Always dancing. Always dancing. Hey. Holy